love the shirt.
I don't.
Wanna make that paper, wanna make that now. This is the affiliate marketing show. Wanna make that paper, wanna make that now. This is the
What is up, everybody? This is Josh coming to you with another episode of the Affiliate Marketing Show. Please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest affiliate marketing news, tips, and trends. Per usual, I'm your host, Josh, from OfferVault.com, the industry's largest aggregator of all things affiliate marketing, affiliate offers, direct to advertisers, affiliate programs, you name it. We got you covered. We also have Daddy Call Bucks Adam Young, as well as the industry legend Harrison Gevirtz, plus one of my best friends in the industry. We go way back, Mr. Braeden Lunge, I believe is how you say it. I always forget to ask before doing the intro, but you will correct me if necessary. Senior Director of New Business and Client Services at Aragon Premium, a division of the Aragon Company that provides cost per acquisition mobile marketing solutions that deliver results for your brand. Mr. Braeden, is it Lunge or Lunge? Which one is it?
Lunge.
Lunge, damn it.
Just
All
like
right.
the exercise, spelled the same, pronounced the same.
Mr. Braeden Lunge, please forgive me. What's up, man? You are talking to us from BC, as in British Columbia, right? Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm on Vancouver Island. I live in a really small city outside of the main hub, which is Victoria. Moved out here a few years ago. Really quiet, like on a little hobby farm. Not a lot of people to bother me out here. I can just, grind away and do what I need to do.
So I know you've been in the industry a long time, and as I mentioned, you're now with Aragon Premium. You know, Aragon Advertising has been doing business with OfferVault for many years. I think, honestly, probably since the time I started here back in 2016. So I'm not super hip to Aragon Premium. Can you kind of just tell us a little bit about that? I know you guys kind of focus on mobile, but maybe just give us a brief overview on what you guys actually do.
Yeah, for sure. So the Aragon Premium division of the Aragon Company is the mobile specific division. It was actually started 3 or 4 years ago when Todd, the CEO, we run our own in-house website called the Money Manual, and we just saw how successful the traffic was that was coming to the Money Manual and how happy all of the advertisers were. But then you always get to a point with this content advertising where all the clients want more of the same traffic. And you kind of hit a cap with content marketing. And so they started to branch out to other similar websites and found that they're able to kind of get more budget for these and split them up throughout these other content websites. And that kind of started the whole premium division. And from there, we worked on bringing in content partners, influencer partners, some programmatic partners over time, and some OfferVault partners, really a diverse mix of traffic channels that we work with. And since my inception into the affiliate marketing space 12 years ago, even at that first company, Revenue Wire, when I was working there, it was desktop specific. We had people asking us for mobile offers back then, 12 years ago. So it was always on my mind. We didn't get into it at the time. As soon as I made my next jump to a next company, it was mobile specific, advertiser facing, sales specific. And I guess the career kind of just grew from there.
So something I want to ask you about that we were kind of talking about pre-show is the increase in fraud that has been happening over the past few years, specifically related to programmatic ads. So I know you kind of mentioned how you guys shifted to content websites, influencer marketing and stuff like that to kind of combat that. But can you tell us a little bit about the fraud and the increase in that you've seen and how you guys are kind of adjusting to, keep Aragon Premium and your partnerships at a higher level?
And
Yeah.
hold on. Before
Yeah.
you answer that question, it would be really amazing if you want to do it or I can do it, to just cover what exactly we mean by fraud in this circumstance for our listeners.
Yeah, for sure. So mobile ad fraud comes in various different formats. We can see ad fraud that is being bought on like a DSP platform where it's actually bots that are kind of programmed to download apps, perform user behavior in apps, like play to certain levels, kind of like mimic user accounts and that kind of thing. There can be the fraud that is like intentional fraud from somebody where, you know, they're firing post-back fraud or they're doing click spamming fraud. So there's a big array of fraud that's out there, and you know, a lot of the fraud detection tools out there are quite advanced and can pinpoint a lot of this now. But when I first started like dip my toes into programmatic and mobile many years ago, they didn't have those solutions in place. And so like a lot of people call it like the wild west of mobile, because there was just, you know, if you look back, you probably think there was a lot of fraud that was happening that was not actually identified at that point. And now the tools are so advanced that it gets flagged very quickly. And it's a big problem with programmatic traffic these days, I find.
Hey, Braeden, can I ask you a quick question? Can you kind of just unpack like what specifically is programmatic advertising and how is it different than like the regular affiliate marketing our users are familiar with?
Yeah, so programmatic advertising kind of just comes in the form of these media buyers are buying inventory on mobile DSPs where they're essentially buying ad space on another app, and it's that standard like banner ad space where it's very small. You see it pop up when you're playing another game and you see a little ad come up. It's so small and you can like barely see it. The intent of that ad is for the user that's playing the game to kind of get distracted, see, oh, Amazon 50% off or something, click on the ad. It takes them away from the game. They can then download Amazon Shopping or something like that and go through that flow. So there's hundreds of thousands of apps out there, hundreds of thousands of websites where these people are buying this inventory. And just, I guess, the progression of it is, you know, now there's bots that are created that can falsely click on these ads, falsely install these mobile apps, and even mimic the user behavior, like I said. So it's, you know, it's kind of tricking the advertiser into thinking, hey, you've got an install of this, you've got a user, like pay us for it. Obviously never the intent of us doing it. It's happening behind the scenes, but that's kind of where that all comes from.
So how come you guys are kind of shifting or have shifted your focus, as you mentioned, to content websites, influencer marketing, paid social, reward platforms, and offer walls? You know, like, why is that the path that's kind of helping you offset the increase in fraud that we're talking about here?
Yeah, so honestly, when I came over to Aragon, when I was interviewing with them, I feel like I was interviewing them as much as they were interviewing me. At my past few roles, I had been very heavy in programmatic advertising, and I knew that I wanted to kind of shift away from it and get into other kind of advertising that was cleaner, easier to deal with, the client's happier with. And when I found out that Aragon had like owned and operated websites and they worked with all these content websites, a lot of people say like content is king because it's normally one of the highest forms of traffic. I was really excited about that. And so when I started, we did work with a lot of programmatic partners. I had a lot of contacts in the advertiser space. And I kind of came over and I just said like, listen, I've seen this trend happen more and more. I've had to deal with it like day in and day out with fraud and having to explain to the advertisers why this happened, why 50% of the traffic is now being charged back to us. When you work in the affiliate space, those chargebacks then get pushed to the affiliates who drove the traffic. And it becomes really messy. It's like, it's high stress. It's something that you're dealing with like day in and day out almost. And, you know, for someone, if they're not familiar with fraud, it comes as a big like sticker shock to them. Like, why is this happening? And so when I started at Aragon, I just said like, you know, listen, like it can be a part of our advertising, you know, like we know that you're going to deal with this all the time. There is a good time and a place for it. You can hit a lot of people with a lot of inventory and it's relatively cheap. But there are better methods out there. Content is kind of where we started. And then when we kind of branched off into this social influencer and paid social right now is up and coming. It's just a lot higher quality of traffic. The user intent behind driving like an install for a game, let's say, is a lot higher when they have watched a video for someone or read a review of the game They go and they download it and they know what they're getting into. Whereas like with programmatic and it's this small banner display, it's just like, here's the game, you've maybe never heard of it. Just like click to install, and maybe they install it and they think it's a puzzle game and it's like a wordscape type of game, and they're not happy with it and they delete it. So like that user journey is not great. It's not as high as quality. So yeah, I think the more that we kind of I was with the team and we just like evolved the traffic sources that we were working with, we just saw how much happier the clients were with all this other kind of inventory. And there was never this, day-to-day conversations about why we're sending fraud or why quality is so low. We had like the longevity of our partnerships were like lasting a lot longer. We were getting more budget. So, just taking that bird's eye view of things, you just think like, this is a pain in the ass, programmatic stuff. This stuff's working. Everybody wants more of it. Like, let's pivot to this direction. And so that's just kind of how, I'd say when we started, we were probably 80% programmatic, 20% other. Now I'd say we're 5 to 10% programmatic, and the rest a mix of other channels.
On that note, I'm really curious what your influencer marketing strategy is for this type of content site, right? Like, I understand what your content sites are. I've seen them before. I've seen the ads on social media. And I'm just curious, how does influencer marketing play into it? How do you find the influencers? I know a lot of it is grunt work, reaching out to them and cold calling them, the whole thing. So like, can you walk us through your high level strategy on that and how the whole thing works?
Yeah, for sure. So we've got an influencer marketing specialist that works with us. His entire job is just sourcing influencers. If anybody's ever worked with an influencer, they're a bit of a fickle beast. They come from like a background of wanting like, give me $10,000 and I will put this one post up for you. And that's kind of the way that it works in their eyes. What we're trying to shift here is sticking with this like performance marketing affiliate model where they're getting paid the same as any other affiliate gets paid. So they're getting paid on like a CPI, a cost per install, or a cost per event, instead of like this big flat fee. That kind of puts the onus on them to really like make this quality video for us, right? They're not getting paid $10,000 for 10 minutes of their time making a video. They need to actually say, okay, here's the game I'm promoting. I'm going to play it for a little bit. I'm going to get to know it so I can talk about it. And then when they're talking about it, they're like, hey, like, download this game. It's super addictive. I made it to level 10. You'll never guess what happens there. Like, really taking that mixture of like what a content website would look like and putting it into somebody's mouth, and them kind of like, just informing you of it. And these influencers that are out there, they've got this following, whether it's 1,000 people or 10,000 people or 400,000 people, but these people trust them, and they kind of idolize them. And so whether it's a game or a product, a shirt or something, they kind of trust them, and they want to just like mimic what they're doing. And so they say, hey, you know what? He's playing this game. It looks fun. He does it in his spare time. I'm going to check it out. So they go ahead and they check it out. So it is a form of like content marketing, user generated content, but it's coming from these influencers. So it is taking a lot of time for our specialists to find people that have previously done similar campaigns in the gaming space or fintech space, and then go a step further and say, hey, we're not going to pay you that 10,000 you're used to. We're going to pay you on like a cost per install. There's pushback, but then if you see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's like, hey, you could generate 5,000 installs from this post, and you might make $50,000. So like, see it that way.
Sorry to interrupt. And what's up, Braeden? Sorry, I was a little late, but I'm just curious, how do you get over the hump? Because like I've done some influencer deals over the years, and to get someone okay with a performance deal, it's not always easy because yes, you could tell someone they might get tons of installs and they're gonna make a bunch of money, but I'm, an influencer chick and someone offers me 10 grand to do some posts, and then you come and you're like, I'll give you a couple bucks per install. I'm not necessarily going to be interested. So I'm just curious how you've seen, or what's the strategies that, affiliates that are kind of trying to do similar could utilize or implement to show these influencers that there's actually more upside potentially by taking that route?
I would say it's not easy. We
Yeah,
hired someone.
fair.
We hired someone specifically with this background so that he could do it. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to stick with this performance model because we worked with it a little bit in the past. And when I speak to an advertiser and I tell them, "Hey, we've got influencer traffic," and their eyes are like this, and then I say, they can promote your game, but we can work on a performance model instead of you having to throw down 10K and you don't know what to get. All of a sudden, they're very interested and they say, "Okay, well, that's great. Like this, we can find someone with all these followers specific. There's not as much risk for the advertiser." So for like on our side, it's an easier sell to get that influencer budget, but finding those influencers is tough. I'm not going to lie. I would say, he does get shot down a lot, and keeping these spreadsheets of 1, 2 in every 10 that he reach out to are okay with this deal, and the other ones, they sit on the sidelines until maybe we found a different deal where somebody will actually be okay with that. So it's a lot of trial and error. I think that one maybe crafty way that you could do it is if you're seeing people like very specifically say like click the link in my bio or whatever, where they're actually trying to drive these like events, whether it's an install or a purchase or something, there could be a chance that that person is maybe working off of like a rev share deal on a clothing line or something a little bit different than that standard flat fee. I think when you hear someone do a flat fee deal, it's just more branded awareness, and they're just kind of like maybe talking about how great something is, and maybe it doesn't end at the end with them saying like, download the game, check it out, click here. It just kind of ends with them saying, "Yeah, this game was great, I played it, blah blah blah," and kind of ends there. So,
or even worse, I used to be involved with a consumer brand years ago, and they got lucky and got a real influencer in their category to do an unsponsored video, and the results of that were incredible. And so I saw this and was like, all right, well, let's reach out to other influencers, other people in the space, and try and do deals. A lot of these influencers are represented by agencies, small agencies that are really bad at what they do. They don't know how to negotiate a contract. They don't do follow-ups. They don't keep the influencer engaged. They don't care. And so their ultimate goal is to sign a deal that is a flat rate like you're talking about, take their commission and just be done with it. And so one of the results I got, this was amazing. I agreed to a 3-video deal. It was $28,000, and the first video comes out and it's horrible. They didn't follow any of the instructions that we sent, and they were real simple, like mention the brand, show the product in the video at least 1 or 2 different ways, like make sure it's in focus, right? Like just horrible work.
Simplest things.
Yeah, the simplest things. And so what happened is this influencer went on vacation, forgot that she had to do the video, took a quick video of it, put it into some bad content, threw it up on YouTube. It got no views. No one cared. It was terrible. We found out all the followers are fake. And I go back to the agency, and the agency says, all right, well, she's willing to redo that video and post it again. It'll count towards your second video. I'm like, wait. My second video, like there's no results. There's 0 sales, 0 clicks, like no one cares. You have 500,000 followers. This video got like 3,000 views. Your other one had 500,000 views because it was really well made. But you're like, hey, you get paid for it. You do no work. So let me understand this. Your influencer took the money, went on vacation, didn't do the work, and you're like, you don't want to do a good job? And so their response was essentially to be arrogantly annoyed that I had complained about the work, and then they refused to do anything about it. And so I don't love my behavior here, but I just said, listen, then fine. You don't want to do your job. We're not going to see the rest of the contract through. And they're like, we're going to sue you. I'm like, all right, cool, sure. Maybe. And this was like 2 kids in LA that somehow represented, like, sure, sue me. All right, guys, you want to go down that road with me? All right. And then they never did, obviously, but we were out a third of the $28,000 budget. and it was a really great learning experience. And so I really like how I just want to say I really appreciate how you're going on a cost per acquisition model here. Every other influencer I've ever dealt with, there has been a diva, and they don't really want to do anything. I also had another one violate their contract, and we had an out, and they said, no, we've already done the content. And I'm like, no, you haven't. The content's not done, haven't posted it. And it turned into a really big argument. And at the end of the argument, the influencer finally conceded that she had just made a down payment on a house and really, really needed the money. So she's sorry she didn't do the work, and was really, really annoyed at my attitude around not doing the work on time, but would really like it if we would pay her the rest of the contract so that she could, make her mortgage payment and buy a couch. And I couldn't believe this experience. So I don't know what you guys are going through over there, but I really like the idea of cost per install or performance based, because in reality, if the influencer does that and does an amazing job, they can actually earn substantially more money than otherwise. And it's funny because I still believe in my heart that these two influencers, had it been on a performance model and they had done like a really kick-ass job, I think they would have made 5 times the amount of money for the same amount of work, essentially, if they would have just done it correctly. And so it's a shame, but it kind of is what it is.
Braeden, I want to hop in on that real quick. So you mentioned like 1 or 2 out of every 10 you hit up typically ends up moving forward on the performance basis. Do you find that those 1 or 2 that do it are very happy with the terms, or is it a little bit of both? Like, what do you typically see from those that actually go the performance route?
Yeah, I mean, it might not be that low. I'm not the one doing the grunt work. I just, I speak to him very frequently. But I mean, everybody's been happy so far. Some of the people have worked performance before, and they do hybrids, or they're willing to do either model. So I don't think we've had anybody that's been disappointed. That's for sure. And it does take kind of stepping back and asking the right questions and like doing a little math for them. Say like, okay, you've got X amount of followers. If you post, you're going to get X amount of views. Normally this percentage turns into clicks or whatever, and just kind of like showing them and like mapping it out for them. Like, hey, even if you did the bare minimum of what you normally do, and you should know what your analytics look like, you'll make double. So, there's educating for sure. That's a big part of it. So, Adam, to your story there, I mean, when I talk to advertisers that have had an experience like that, it helps with my sales like through the roof, because they don't want to have to deal with that. They say, hey, if you guys are dealing with divas like that all day, and I can just come to you and, I just get the reporting and I see what happens, and you guys deal with all that crap behind the scenes, please like do that. And it's a big selling point for us, I think, it's just handling all this behind the scenes and us lining up. Okay, we've got these 15 different gaming specific ones. These ones might be a good fit. Let's review them and let's take a look and kind of go from there. So I mean, I think it's newer, in the last few years, specifically, performance influencing is new affiliate marketing. And I love kind of being at the start of it. I'll call it, the ground of it and building it up.
Do the influencers that you guys work with promote across all platforms, or is it like just TikTok or just Instagram, or would you say people are everywhere?
Yeah, so like the more we dig into it, I find that a lot of people have specific platforms that they like. Like a lot of people, will maybe just like only do Instagram, and they've got their stories and all that kind of stuff. So, there are ones that hit everything. They've got a YouTube channel, they've got TikTok, but their audience could be slightly different on each, and the way that they promote can be slightly different on each. And also when speaking to a client, for one reason or another, they might have a bad taste in their mouth about TikTok and they only want Instagram or something like that. So it's good to have a variation, but I'd say most work on like maybe 2 of them, but not all of them. So
I have a question about the actual influencers. Do you find that in this area of mobile and gaming and apps and stuff like that, is there a type of influencer that works better than another? Like, do female influencers work better than male? Is there an age range that works better? Is there like a past, history of the influencer, like a celebrity or someone who's a natural, like online influencer that got famous through influencing? Like, what do you see works best in this area?
Yeah, so for the influencers that we're targeting, they're like micro influencers to medium-sized influencers. So anybody that's beyond like a medium-sized influencer, they're not going to want to dabble in a performance basis. They're going to want like 20, 30K upfront. And so that's not the niche that we're looking for. We're looking for those smaller ones. And honestly, the mix of influencers that we see, it'll blow your mind. I mean, we'll see somebody promoting a different product or a different app that you would never in a million years think would be a good fit for it. And when you speak to them about how it's performing and go into depths with it, it'll be maybe one of their top different campaigns that they've done, and you would never think it looking at them or looking at their profile. So I'd say you can't like judge a book by its cover when you're doing this. You kind of really got to dig in and see what are some previous things that they've posted about. If they're only always posting about like travel and stuff like that, maybe a mobile game isn't a fit for them. Maybe more something that has to do with plane tickets or something like that would be a better fit for them. So you do kind of got to like pick and choose, which is, why we like having a very large variety of influencers who will specialize in a few categories. And then also on our network, having a big variety of offers so we can just kind of connect the dots and line them up.
And do you ever go the flat fee route depending on the influencer? Like, do you ever make exceptions on that front? Excuse me. Or is it always performance?
Yeah, so we definitely, you can make an exception. Normally, I don't want to do an initial test on a flat fee. If there's a test ahead of time where they've kind of proven themselves out, and they're open to doing both, then they could say, here's a flat fee deal. Flat fee deals can sometimes comes with rights to the video for the company. So for us, which you can then do, and you can remarket that video and do as you choose with that video. So it does come with some perks for sure. But I would say just because of the conversations with our clients and what they're looking for, the path of least resistance right now is just this performance model. It fits in with the user acquisition manager that we're talking to. It's within their budget to allocate this here. Sometimes when you go and move into flat fee deals, you need to get introduced to a different team member. It's a different IO, it's a different budget, it's branding. And so there's a lot more hoops that you have to jump through in order to try to get something live. So yeah, we're trying to stick with this, and just that's what's setting us apart. You can go to there's plenty of like influencer agencies or networks out there that you can go to, but lots of them you just don't have this performance model that we're offering.
I would assume one would not want to just stick with like the channel of influencer marketing. So can you tell me a little bit about like the benefits of kind of having a variety of marketing channels, and outside of influencer marketing, like where do you guys focus in this area of the industry, and what are the benefits of having options?
Yeah, for sure. So I think that, again, like when your contact at a client is generally this like user acquisition manager, their job is to, let's say it's a gaming app, their job is to drive the most amount of users. They want the lowest cost, but they also want the highest quality of users that are coming in. They don't want someone that installs a game and uninstalls it the next day. That's not worth anything to them. That's long are the days of that kind of traffic working out. So I think, being able to approach our clients and tell them like, listen, we've got influencer marketing that, we think if you give us a $50,000 budget, let's take a little bit of that and let's test with that. Influencer marketing, it can often take a little bit of money to get going, to find maybe the right influencer or the right video that actually hits. You might need to spend a little bit of money before you see this video actually maybe go semi-viral or something like that and actually take off and the performance hits. So having that like preface with them and them knowing that that's the case, that's one channel that you would want to work with. But then when you kind of say like, listen, with that 50,000, we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket with that, right? We don't want to say like, if this just does not work for some reason for you, or we don't find the right influencer match, or for whatever reason, it just doesn't perform up to your expectations. We don't want to get fully paused from them because that one thing didn't work out. We like to diversify. So that's why we like to say like, your offer would also maybe work well on a content review site, like maybe someone who's reviewing mobile games, top 10 mobile games to play on your couch or whatever, get through the winter playing these mobile games. So you've got these content websites that are also driving traffic, and making sure that the client knows which channel is coming from where, and telling them that these statistics in the background, the data in the background is going to look different. So let's like analyze content traffic through one lens. Let's analyze influencer through another lens. We've recently, over the past year, we just launched our own co-reg path offer wall as well. So it's called Bonus Bucks. And what that is, if you're familiar with incentivized traffic, which has historically been like I'll call it like a dirty word in affiliate marketing. I will say it's evolved over time. Whereas when it was this dirty word, it was people just driving installs, and these people are coming and they're only installing the app because they're getting a reward. They're getting like a $50 Amazon gift card or something like that. So they want to do it. They want to just download it. That was kind of like previous, where you'd get all these just installs. There's no user behavior behind it. I think how it's evolved now and how we're really focusing with the way that our platform works is we don't work on a cost per install basis for our rewarded traffic. We tell our user that is not smart here. Don't pay us on an install because you just don't want an install. You want your user playing to level 10, 20, 50, 100. That's where you're making your money. People are playing, they're seeing other ads, they're making in-app purchases. So the way that our offer wall works is, we're rewarding our users multiple times. We're saying install the app, play to level 10, it's going to take you a day and you can earn this many rewards. Play to level 50 and it's going to take you 3 days and you can earn even more rewards. And hey, if you play to like level 100 or 200, it's going to take you a week. You're going to earn a lot more rewards. And so these users are really driven to sit and play this game for like a week. Like, hey, how can I get to level 200 to get this biggest reward that I can get? And as they're playing, they don't know it, but there's monetization within that app. They're watching ads that are forced to them.
I bet they're also getting excited about the game and buying the tokens or the additional lives or whatever it is that you sell.
They're getting addicted to it. They're on level 100. They want to make it to 200, and they just saw something that says, hey, upgrade to level 150 if you pay $199. We'll slingshot you there. They say, hell, why not? So they go ahead and they do it. So as they're playing that game, our quality of that user is increasing and increasing and increasing. So whereas this like incent used to be a dirty word in affiliate marketing, I normally phrase it as like rewarded traffic now, because we're rewarding these users. And so it has become, not our main part, but another big channel that we're working with. And again, this user behavior looks completely different than an influencer or content, right? This user is going to play till it reaches that reward. When it hits that reward, it will probably stop playing. They've gained their monetary reward and that's it, unless they've really become addicted to the game and they want. But generally you see a dip off. So when I'm talking to a client, I say, hey, where do your organic users dip off? Do they dip off at level 100? Yes. Okay. Well, let's set our rewards to level 120. So our traffic is performing better than your organic traffic, which is normally the highest performing of most channels. So again, having all these different channels that we're working with and making sure that the client knows that they have to view these through different lenses. They're all going to look different. We're going to report them back to you. I think it's really important with, spreading their user acquisition budgets out and just being able to get like a good mix of media And, at the end of a test, end of like 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, maybe they want to double down on one and not the other. And that's kind of just like where we help them like understand the data, the users, and then just find that right path that's kind of best suited for them.
Yeah, speaking of, rewarding people, I know how, important it is to reward your clients at Aragon Premium as well. And I know, transparency is something that's super important to you guys. I know I speak for Adam and Harrison, and myself, when I say how important transparency with our partners is, being there for them, providing that support, making sure they can get everything they need to be successful. So when it comes to Aragon Premium, tell us a little bit about the transparency you guys provide your clients, being able to, view their ads in real time and any other kind of benefits you focus on. And then, kind of in addition to that, like how you've seen that it increases your relationship with them by being able to earn that level of trust.
Yeah, that's a great point, and a great little addition that we do here. So the transparency thing for me actually came from previous jobs that I was at, and then coming into when I started at Aragon. Again, being heavy in my past roles with programmatic traffic, there was never a time where we could show an advertiser what their ad looked like. We call it kind of like finding your ad in the wild. So if a person is buying on a mobile DSP, they could be buying on 100 different apps to have their ad placed. Basically, it's not impossible. It's very difficult to actually get that ad served up to you, take a screenshot and show it to the client and say, hey, this is what your ad would looks like in real life on these DSPs. And so it's like an advertiser kind of buying into this black box. They're saying, okay, we're paying you this money. We don't really know where the traffic is coming from. We don't know what your ad looked like. We have no idea. Do we trust you? I don't know. This is a new relationship. And so that's how it previously was. And so when I came to Aragon Premium, I started, even on the programmatic side, I started saying like, hey, everybody that's going to run this, we need to actually see their ad. Show us a mock-up of what your ad looks like so we can show the advertiser. So it kind of started there with people, we wouldn't let anybody go live until they showed us a mock-up of what it looked like. So it started there. As we continued to kind of like shift into other marketing channels like influencer and OfferVault and content, we started sharing our partners' names with them. We would say, listen, this is the website where your ad is on. This is the review. Here's the link. Take a look at it. Tell me if you have any revisions that you want. Like, does this meet like your branded guidelines? Yes, no, what can we change? And so having that now full level of transparency to our clients, they can see exactly where their traffic is coming from. They're saying, okay, this website, whatever it is, themoneymanual.com, they've got a review of my product. I've proofread the review. I love it. These users that are coming from it, they're A+. I love it. This influencer, I've actually seen the video. I approved the video before they put it out. So being able to share all that information with our clients, I found has, it's opened up additional budgets for us. It's allowed us to gain this like level of trust. They know exactly where their marketing dollars are going. I will say it comes with a little bit of there's extra nuances and paperwork that come with it. Now that the advertiser knows who our affiliate is, and our affiliate knows that they're driving traffic for this advertiser, there is always that chance that they could kind of now work directly together. So we have to make sure that we're providing enough of an offering to both sides to say like, hey, listen, like this is why you need to work through us. We're managing all of this for you. If you're working directly with this one person, it is a small amount of traffic. What we're doing is we're working with 100 of these people at once, which is why you're getting all of this traffic. So just really selling them on what we're doing and what we're offering, and that level of transparency, I think that is come across really good. A lot of the teams that we work with, they're small teams. There are only 3-4 people that are on the user acquisition side. they don't have the time to work with 100 different content sites, 50 different influencers. You know what I mean? So they love that we take this responsibility on for them. And again, I think when it comes down to time of renewing budgets, giving more budgets, and you've got somebody like us where they're saying, okay, I know that we're getting it from these 10 content sites and this and that from Aragon Premium, and this other company, it's this black box. I don't know. Sometimes they do good, sometimes they do bad. Sometimes we get fraud, sometimes they don't. Like, where's those marketing dollars going to go at? It's going to go to like the people that they've trusted, that they've built these good relationships with. And that's like, in affiliate marketing, it's a small world. You circle around and you see the same people all the time. So you can't burn bridges. You need to build that trust up. And, people just like keep coming back. You keep getting referrals. And it's just that great circle that just keeps on turning.
That's the name of the game in this industry. That's for sure. And
Absolutely.
It's become even more of an important kind of principle in the game. The days of just jumping around from partner to partner, I would say, are long gone for like the fly by night affiliate. Those don't exist like they used to. That's for sure. That's a good thing for everyone in the industry.
Yeah, that's an awesome point. That actually saves affiliates jumping around. When our client knows this affiliate is with us, if they jump to another network who might have a similar offer for a different rate or something like that, they know. They say, no, I know you're already working with Aragon Premium. Why did you jump around? Why are you trying to work here or there? It's like, we know you've got history here, stay there. Like, things are going good. So that level of transparency has helped in that aspect too.
Whether we're talking about Todd, the owner of Aragon, or everybody at the team, including yourself, I think it's fair to say you guys know about long-term survival. And I think a big part of that is the importance you place on the diversification of your offers. So can you talk to us a little bit about how diverse the offers at Aragon are, and what are some of the potential risks of a network that's a little too hyper-focused in one area?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say when I started at Aragon, our main focus was fintech. Again, how I described the way that Premium evolved was from our website. The money manual sounds fintech focused. It is, and we branched out to others. So that was initially our main bread and butter. When I started, I hadn't actually worked much in fintech at all. I had worked in most every other channel in industry with gaming and food and drink and travel and that kind of stuff. So when I came, I kind of just started onboarding all these other types of advertisers and just like changing the mix up a little bit. And so, it's at any network, if you've got all your eggs in one basket, whether it's on one offer or on one channel, if you're only relying on influencer, or if you're only relying on this or that, is risky. Because if something happens to that partner or to that channel, your whole business could crumble. And so I would say over the last 7 years or something like that, I've seen that happen. Somebody is they've got multi-million-dollar budgets with somebody, and that's, they've grown their team to help build that relationship and facilitate that relationship. And as soon as that gets taken away for one reason or another, they go with somebody else, or their budgets got slashed or whatever, all of a sudden they're sitting on 10, 15 employees that were helping with this that now have nothing to do. That budget is gone. They're scrambling. And so that's where mass layoffs kind of happen. It's, you see that with some of these big tech companies too. They've kind of ramped up really, really quickly. A recession kind of happens. And now they're sitting on too many employees. And so they kind of are laying them off. So I think that for us, we can always do more, but, working in gaming and gambling and fintech and just really diversifying, I think is definitely really smart in terms of being able to bring in different affiliates. We're not just going after one single affiliate that's good at gaming. We can really branch out and find all these different unique traffic sources. And then we can educate our affiliates and traffic sources too. If they've only run fintech before, hey, this might have some crossover. If you're running an app that's real money gaming, this could probably fit into your fintech website, hey, how to make money playing a game or something like that. So educating them on a lot of the different offers that we have. It's a big part of what the publisher's team's job is.
Well, Braeden, I appreciate you joining us on the Affiliate Marketing Show. I'd love to have you back in the future. For myself, Josh from OfferVault, Mr. Daddy Callbucks, Adam Young, as well as the industry legend Harrison Gevirtz, and once again, my buddy, Braeden Lunge, the Senior Director of New Business and Client Services at Aragon Premium. Let's make that paper. Let's make that dough. This was the Affiliate Marketing Show. We will see you next time.
Marketing show. Wanna make that paper. Wanna make that dough.
Girlfriend's dog is the majority of my responsibility.
Hey,
He's pretty chill. He does like concert dances, wears Dior sweaters, but other than that,